When I was reading this book, I was reminded of my school, a place that encouraged rote learning over actual learning. When I first went to such a school, I was extremely impressed by how quickly and how thoroughly most of the students were able to memorize things. Personally, I always memorized laboriously, but retained little. I continued being impressed until I brought a problem to some of them. Look, I said, if you change this and bring that in, does that imply this result? They looked at me as if I were speaking Sanskrit. Turned out, they had simply memorized the formulae, and while they knew how to apply the formulae and solve a problem, they had no idea what it meant, or how they arrived at it, or how that could be changed. Because of the education we receive, when faced with a problem, our immediate thought is, oh, there's only one correct answer to this. Better follow this sequence of steps that I've been told, and this is the correct way. But in reality, there's never such one correct answer. Let me explain this using this classic problem. There are 6 eggs in the basket. 6 people take one of the eggs. How can it be that one egg is left in the basket? Now, if I asked you this question, what would your answer be? Maybe you decide to take the most obvious approach and say, it's impossible. 6 people take 6 eggs, the basket's obviously empty. This is vertical thinking. Or maybe you come up with something like, the last person waits for the egg to hatch and grow into a chicken and lay an egg, and so there's an egg left in the basket. This is the horizontal pattern of thinking. One idea uses the obvious logic. The other idea is technically possible but incredibly improbable. Both of these do make sense, and that's why I'm not saying they are wrong, but instead of thinking horizontally or vertically, why not think laterally? A solution that is logical and also easy to execute. So how about this for an answer? The 5 men each pick up an egg, and the last man picks up the basket with the egg inside it. Alright, how about this problem? A boat has a ladder that's 10 feet long and hangs off the side of the boat, with its last 2 feet submerged in water. If the ocean tide rises 5 feet, how much of the ladder will be underwater? The most common answer is 7 feet. But obviously, as the ocean rises, so will the boat. The ladder will always be only 2 feet underwater. A critical thinker might arrive at the same result using logic, but a lateral thinker will arrive at the result faster, not because he analyzes the science behind the question, but instead he spots the attempt at misconstruction. I'll share with you one last problem. How can a person fall out of a 30-story building on the ground and survive? Most people immediately come to the conclusion that this is not possible. But isn't it possible that he fell out of the ground floor? You see, everyone is born creative. Creativity isn't something that you learn. But yeah, becoming creative involves a little bit of unlearning. It involves unlearning that traditional approach that you were taught in school. This is what I learned in school. If you dig a hole deep enough, you'd get to water. Bono taught me that it's just easier to buy a bottle of mineral water. In everyday life, probably, you'll not need to use Stokes' theorem to integrate the surface integral of a curve all the time unless you want to. So maybe you can throw away that step-by-step logic in the trash and adapt to a more creative approach of lateral thinking.